Good morning, afternoon or evening, and welcome back to my channel for another property video. If you've never been to my channel, I aim to educate people about property related matters specific to the UK. If you're thinking of buying, already own your own home, or maybe even if you're a seasoned property investor, there might be some useful content here for you. So consider subscribing to keep up to date with my new videos. In today's video, I'll be talking about how you can buy your council flat at a huge discount using something called the right to buy scheme. And if you stick around to the end, I'll run through a couple of examples using some real numbers. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it. The right to buy scheme was introduced in 1980 and was designed to help council tenants in England buy their home at a discount. Currently, as it stands, you can get a discount of up to £112,300 if you live in the London Borough, or up to £84,200 if you live outside of a London Borough, so basically anywhere else in England. This maximum threshold increases every April in line with the Consumer Price Index. The discount is based on three key factors. 1. How long you've been a tenant with a public sector landlord. 2. The type of property you're buying, whether it's a house or flat, but in this video I'll be focusing on flats only. And 3. The value of your home. If you've been a secure tenant in a council flat for 3 years, you could be eligible for a 50% discount or the maximum cap, whichever is lower. This discount remains at 50% until the 5th year, then the discount rises by 2% with every extra year of tenancy up to a maximum of 70%, or the cap, whichever is lower. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to run through a couple of examples at the end, so stick around.
That's all great, Raf, but how do I know if I'm eligible?
You can apply for the right to buy scheme if you tick these 4 boxes. It's your only or main home. It's self-contained, meaning the premises has sleeping accommodation, aka a bedroom, a kitchen, bathroom, and toilet for the exclusive use of that premises. You're a secure tenant. Typically council tenancies are, and these types of tenancies allow you to live in a property for the rest of your life. You've had a public sector landlord for 3 years, like for example a council or NHS trust, and these 3 years do not have to be in a row. A key point to remember as well is that if you are eligible, you can make a joint application with someone who shares your tenancy, assuming that they're at least 18 or older, your spouse or civil partner, or up to 3 family members who have lived with you in the past 12 months, and they don't have to be on the tenancy, but that property needed to be their main home, so you'll likely need some documentation to prove that. So now you've thought long and hard about this and you've decided this is a great scheme and you want to take advantage of it. But what do you do next? In the first instance, you need to get some advice. There's going to be costs involved, so you need to work out if you have enough savings to undertake the process. These will be typical buying fees. You can see my other video for more information on that. A cash deposit, and possibly stamp duty land tax. The other thing you'll need to find out is if you'll be able to get a large enough mortgage to cover the rest. So it's best to have a free consultation with a mortgage advisor on that. Assuming you've checked the aforementioned points and you're good to go, you'll need to complete an application form called an RTB1 form. You can do this online, or you can ask your landlord for a printed copy. You simply fill it out, send it back to the landlord and wait. Your landlord will then consider your application and get back to you with an answer whether or not you're eligible. And this usually takes around 4 weeks. Assuming you're eligible, your landlord will then have 12 weeks to send you an offer called a Section 125 notice. In this time, they will likely have a surveyor come around to inspect the property so it can be valued. In the notice, it should mention full market value of the flat, the discount you're eligible for, and the discounted price of that flat, any issues they're aware of, and the terms and conditions of the offer. You then have 12 weeks to accept your landlord's offer. And if you do, you'll need to appoint a solicitor, get a survey done, and organise your mortgage. Once the process completes, congratulations, you now own your own home. One last point I'll make is that you need to keep the property for a minimum of 5 years before you sell, otherwise you have to pay back some of, if not all of that discount. So that's a bit about the process, but now the bit you've all been waiting for. Example 1. Let's assume you live in a 2-bed council flat as a secure tenant in Birmingham, and that flat is worth £130,000. Between your 3rd and 5th year of tenancy, you could be eligible for a 50% discount, which is £65,000. Then, with every year after the 5th year, you gain an extra 2% discount up to 70% or the £84,200 cap. Let's say you've lived there for 15 years, so you could be entitled to a 70% discount, which is £91,000. But this is larger than the cap, so the maximum discount you would get is £84,200. In this case, it results in a discounted figure of £45,800. Example 2. Let's assume you live in a one-bed council flat as a secure tenant in London worth £300,000. You've been there for 3 years, so you could be eligible for a 50% discount. This equates to £150,000, but this figure is higher than the London cap, so the maximum discount you get is £112,300. In this case, that results in a discounted figure of £187,700. So that kind of sums up the right to buy scheme in a nutshell. I personally think it's a great scheme that gives people the opportunity to get onto the property ladder who might normally struggle to do so. Remember to share this video with anyone who you think might find it useful and exercise your right to click that like button. Thank you so much for watching and see you at my next video.